We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, and now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM. Our in-studio guest, we've got a country music legend, and we've spent a bunch of time talking off the air, and we could do 2 or 3 shows with this gentleman before we even get started, Clay.
You're right. We could.
Yes.
We could.
We have in studio the youngest honoree in the Nashville Country Music Hall of Fame, Mayf Neuter. Mayf, welcome to Taking Care of Business.
There's nothing neuter about me.
Nutter.
Hey,
Nutter.
When you go out on the golf course and you go up on the green, do you get out your pooter?
My pooter?
No, it's a putter.
Oh.
When you're having your toast in the morning, do you put some booter on it? No, you
It's
put
butter.
butter on it. It's Mayf Nutter. All together now. Mayf
Nutter.
Hey, guys, I had to live with that for 71 years.
Did
Give
you
me a
really?
break.
I have to work
71
with
years,
him.
huh?
And I'm sorry, Mayf, but this is
Oh,
Marty.
yeah, that might top it. That might top it.
He's a little slow.
That might top it. That might neuter you, even the strongest guy. Yeah, that could
little
be-
light on the uptake, huh?
Mr. Nutter to you.
I was so focused on the Mayf like in safe.
Yeah, that's right. Where they keep all the money, or slide into home
That's right.
plate.
Tell us, Marty, who is Mayf Nutter?
Well, he is as I said, the youngest honoree in the Nashville Country Music Hall of
How
Fame.
old is that?
I don't know. It's
Mayf's
not
been
on
around
here.
a while.
Well,
No,
71 years that I know of.
Actually, I'd like to make that clear. I'm the youngest one to have a star in the walkway of stars in the sidewalk at the original Country Music Hall of Fame.
How about
I have
that,
not
huh?
been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, but I have been inducted into the Rockabilly Hall of Fame.
Okay, and you were also introduced, on opening day, you and somebody named Buck Owens, I think that's a name that we know here in Bakersfield, were the first honorees of the Bakersfield Country Music Museum, right?
Yes, it was a
How
great
about
honor.
that, huh?
Great honor.
Wow.
And they're having a program coming up this month, I believe. The Bakersfield Country Music Awards.
Yes, that's not exact. That's not the museum who's doing it, but yes, they're having the annual Bakersfield Country Music Awards, and it's Sunday, July 14th at 2:00 at the wonderful Nile Theater here in Bakersfield. Now, if you haven't been to the Nile Theater in a while, it's set up like a Las Vegas showroom, you know, with the little different layers, and they've got tables like Las Vegas tables, and the stage is great, and we're also going to do some visual aids and stuff there.
And what's going to happen as far as you're concerned at this event?
Well, they called me and said they wanted to make sure I would attend because this year they were going to honor your friend Mayf Nutter.
Can anybody go to this, Mayf?
Yes, it's open to the public, and at the Nile Theater, like I said, Sunday, July 14th. It's at 2:00 on the Sunday afternoon, so after church you can come by, and the tickets are $20, and you get a country dinner served with that too.
And how do you get tickets?
You can call the theater, I guess.
Niles Theater.
And also at the door they're available.
Because they're going to want to know how many people are going to be there for the number of dinners they're going to have to serve, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think they probably get plenty for each of the seats available.
Nothing gets by you, Clay.
I'm pretty
Nothing
slick.
You are really sure.
July 14th, so 7 come 11 come 14.
Yeah.
Dave, I got to tell you, I'm not a big country western person. I'm learning country western, okay? But looking, and I met you at Rockwell's event on Friday morning that he normally has. But looking at your resume, I mean, I'm amazed at the stuff that you've been involved in over the years.
I've been blessed.
You have been blessed. The new Christie Minstrels.
This land is your land.
This-
Green is green, they say, on the far
side of the hill.
Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine.
Kenny Rogers was involved with the new
Actually, the
Christie
King,
Minstrels?
yes, and the first edition were all ex-New Christie
Oh, wow.
Minstrels. Kenny Rogers was the last one to
Wow.
join the group because the bass player they really wanted was not available for the audition when they started to do rock and roll.
First edition. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
And it became, yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm amazed at this resume of yours, and it goes across the spectrum of music. Frank Zappa. What did you have to do with Frank Zappa?
Frank Zappa heard me do a Mayf Nutter show at the world famous Troubadour in Hollywood.
Oh my God! I remember the Troubadour. I used to go there.
Yeah, I did only my own songs. And when I was coming off those few steps there after the show, this guy in a long leather coat and one of those World War I pilot's helmets on his head.
Frank Zappa.
Came up and grabbed me by the hand, and he said, man, what kind of music is that? I mean, that's kind of, I mean, it's really rocking, man, but I mean, it's heavy, but it's almost country because the words makes it, hey, why don't you come and make some records with us? And I said, I don't think I belong on Bizarre Productions, Barking Pumpkin Records or whatever. He said, I'll start a new label for you. You know that song you sang? I used to wake up every morning, sick down to the core. Sweet Mary Jane would ease the pain of what I'd done the day before. Yesterday when I was a fool. Nobody's saying that, man. That's so heavy, man. Hey, we'll start a new label just for you. We'll call it Straight Records. And he did. He formed a record label. I was the only one on it. He called it Straight Records. Some years later, he got a girl on his label named Linda Ronstadt. After I left the label, there was another artist called Alice Cooper on there.
That's Moonbeam's girlfriend,
I was
wasn't
just going to say that, yep. We're having a conversation in studio with Mayf Nutter.
Nutter.
Nutter, not Nutter.
Nutter.
Butter. Nutter.
That was intentional on my part, just a little levity there.
God.
Clay, go ahead.
We don't need any levity from you. Hey, you were also in the movies or on TV. What are some of the things you did on TV? I know you started with the Waltons, I believe.
Well, you quoted one that I had forgotten about there, about Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, you were the first criminal.
I was the first
bad guy?
I was the first bad guy that Charlie's Angels ever caught on the premiere episode of Charlie's Angels.
Premiere episode?
Yeah, the very first one. That was before anybody knew they were stars, and it was Farrah Fawcett's first big deal on TV and all that. So it was great getting to know those people early.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, they used a Mayf Nutter album called Goin' Skinny Dippin'. The cover album photo was taken in the Kern River up behind Merle Haggard's house.
Really?
Yeah, and they used that and my acting credits to go to the network and sell this concept on a new TV show called Dukes of Hazzard. And then I was the guest star the first time the show made #1.
And now you have a movie that's coming out you're going to be in.
Oh, man, it was so much fun, and I can't wait to see the whole thing. It's called Wizard Dream. One word. If you folks want to know more about it, you can go to Facebook and look up Wizard Dream. It just has one D in the one word, Wizard Dream Movie. And you can see some little video clips and some pictures of the characters. And it's great. A wonderful writer-director named John Carl Beechler wrote and is directing the movie. And back in the 80s, he wrote a character in one of his movies who was a little kid studying the magical arts, and he named that little kid Harry Potter. and a few years later, there were Harry Potter books and movies and everything, and somebody had taken that idea from him. He didn't get a dime out of it, and they made a whole world around Harry Potter. So his mind and his directing and producing is just fantastic, and I'm really proud to be a part of Wizard Dream.
Mayf, I have to tell you, you've got your credits are incredible. I mean, you go way back. One of the things that I noticed here that kind of, I have to say, cracked me up here was you were involved with Del Shannon on the hit Runaway?
Yeah, actually,
that's before my time.
I was playing in a band in Battle Creek, Michigan. I was a disc jockey on WKLZ Kalamazoo, and at
Kellogg's
night,
territory.
Yeah, and at night I'd drive to Battle Creek and play at a nightclub with Charlie Westover, who worked in a paint store. Later on, he got a record deal and called himself Del Shannon. And I was his lead guitar player.
Lead guitar player.
Yeah.
So you were the lead guitar player on Runaway.
I did not make the record.
Oh, okay.
I was not the guy who played that lick on the record.
Mm-hmm.
But I was his lead guitar player, when we toured and stuff.
You also, you've always been sort of in the background more than in the forefront, haven't you? Like with Buck and Merle and some of these other people?
Well, Buck actually called me. Actually had Jack McFadden call me, and he found me through Screen Actors Guild because Buck was already playing Mayf Nutter records on KUZZ before he'd ever met me. And as the story goes, he was in Dallas before a show that he was going to do that night in his hotel room. He saw 3 Nashville TV shows where I was performing on the Porter Wagner Show, the Del Reeves Show, Jim Ed Brown Show. And he called Jack into his hotel room when he heard I was going to be on that 3rd show and said, get a hold of this kid. He's doing something different. Why do I want to watch him the third time in a row here? And then when Buck and I met, he came to Los Angeles, asked me to meet him backstage, and he said, we're playing your records, and they're really great records. He says, who produces your records for you? And I said, well, it's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He's from West Virginia. His name is Mayf Nutter. He said, you make your own. They let you make your own record. And I'm making a studio. Would you come up and show? How did you do that thing on the Johnny Cash thing where you did the Johnny Cash record where you had a train and it started blowing its horn right at the right time and stopped there? Would you come up and show me how to do some stuff in the studio? That was the first time I came to Bakersfield at Buck's and then he asked me to be part of his show.
Well, Mayf, when we come back, we've got something very special for our guests.
Mr.
Okay?
Nutter.
Yes, Mayf Nutter. We'll be back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.